What's going on? Welcome to my show. I'm here today with none other than Tommy Feldman. How you doing, Tommy?
Yo, doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man. We're here to talk finance today. That's really the nature of this conversation. And just a disclaimer, neither of us are experts in finance.
Yep,
We do not take everything we say with a grain of salt, as you should with anybody, really.
exactly. Consult your financial advisor for any further details. We can only advise.
That's right. How's it going, Tommy? It's good to see you,
Going good.
man.
I mean, I am a comedian, but every time I see you, Noah, we always wind up talking about finance somehow.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of funny. I mean, like, typically you don't think of a comedian as someone who is financially literate, right?
No, you don't. And I think I don't know where where we started talking about it. I think since you're obviously younger than me, and I have an interest in personal finance and finance in general, and I'm always trying to teach younger people when I get a chance. But I wasn't sure if you were open to hearing that kind of stuff, so I kind of sussed it out a little bit and just sort of make sure that you wanted to talk about it. And sure enough, you were interested, and
Yeah,
that's how. And ever since then, I think we've been talking bit by bit about finance.
definitely open to it. That's something I don't talk about too often. I feel like I don't get an opportunity to talk about it. There's not a lot of people that are into it in the circles I'm in, or maybe like not the specific things I like to do with finance.
Hmm.
So it's just cool to have those conversations, man. Let me start by asking you this, man. Is
Sure.
it financially unwise to have a spouse?
Oh boy. Well, okay. So there's the tax point of view, which actually can be good because when you are joint, when you combine your incomes and then you combine your there's some there's some good things that happen when you tax wise when you're married, but and not to mention when you're married you get the benefits of like health insurance, and there's a whole lot of things. Hate to say it, but in this day and age, if you're with somebody and it's better off to get married if you're already with somebody. I'm saying
Hmm.
legally, contractually, for healthcare, for finance, for taxes, for a lot of reasons. In my opinion,
Yeah.
uh, it's better to blend everything. But I only know that way. I mean, I've been married for 25 years, so that's the only way that I know.
So for anyone that's on the fence, get married and you get tax breaks, right?
Yeah, to some extent. And then when you have kids, you get even more tax breaks, by the way. Having kids is expensive, but you do get a little bit of benefit out of it.
Sign me up for both. What about if what about to get there? Like sometimes people are in a dating relationship for
Hmm.
many, many years. Like that might not be too financially wise, right?
You're talking about like if two people bring a lot already to the relationship and they want to keep their finances separate.
No, like let's say, like I know people that have been dating each other for 5 years.
Hmm.
You're not getting any of those tax benefits for all those years, and
Nope.
you're having to, pay for the dates and whatnot.
Yeah. And also, like I said about the healthcare stuff, like if one of you winds up, sort of in a situation where there's healthcare sort of medical emergencies, things like that. If a girlfriend is not going to be able to do the same things that a wife could as far as helping you through things like that. But I mean, there are people who keep their finances separate. But again, I really don't know of
Is that
that.
weird to you when you meet someone that's when you meet a couple that have been together for a long time and they say they keep finances separate? Is that kind of weird to you?
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit weird to me because especially if they have kids, right? Because then it's a lot more difficult if there's two separate households on paper, for the schools, for the school purposes of schooling, for the purposes of, again, going back to like the tax and stuff like that. It's not, I wouldn't say it's weird, but did we just lose our lighting?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see what happened. All right. So yeah, we're talking
People that are together
keeping their
and then they're
finances.
keeping everything separate. Is that weird to me? It's not weird to me. It's just that I only know the marriage route, and it's worked well for me, for us,
Yeah,
me and my wife. So
it's good for you, man. Hope that keeps working.
yeah, 25 years so far. So
That's it.
we have three kids, and they are, they're slowly getting their independence. I've got a 21-year-old. He's graduating from college this year.
Nice.
I got a sophomore in college, my daughter, and then I've got a ninth grader, 14-year-old. He's at Slow High, so he's my slocal. The other two are kind of borderline slocals. They only went to high school here for part of the time.
You lived somewhere else before?
Yeah, so I moved here from the Bay Area.
Okay.
I hate people who are like, "Yo, Bay Area represent," 'cause I'm not like that 'cause I'm actually from New York originally. I'm
Really?
a New Yorker, yeah. I'm a New Yorker, and I raised my kids part of the way in the Bay Area, but yeah, I came from, the East Bay.
Wow.
A place called San Ramon is where I started. My home comedy club was this club called Tommy T's. Interesting name. Yeah, and then I moved down here during the pandemic, 2021, and that's, I've been here ever since. But yeah, so I guess that makes me a little bit unique amongst the
Yeah.
slow comics, is because I started comedy in a much bigger scene
Mhm.
and then moved here. So
Yeah, so you're like, "Oh, you guys are not that good."
yeah, no, I wouldn't say that. It's just that actually it's a better scene here in a lot of ways, by the way, because back in the Bay Area, that's just so big and it's so competitive that it's actually kind of, hard to get to stage time. There are mics, but they're also competitive. So that's, again, difficult to get stage time. And sometimes the mics up in the Bay Area, they're always not many civilians. It's always just comics. Whereas here, you've got open mics with actual crowds.
Mhm.
You don't have that in the Bay.
Yeah, I hear about that a lot, so, I'm gonna have to
We're lucky.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to look into that, man. At what age did you, embark on your investing journey?
Let's see. Yeah. So today, since you and I always talk about finance, I kind of wanted to get this out into the universe. Some of my tips on what to do when you're young,
Mm,
when you're investing. I think I've sort of tried to tell you here and there, but my investing journey started just with my first job. When I guess right out of college, my very first job, I started squirreling money away in a mutual fund. Just like,
mhm,
at the time, Vanguard, that company,
mhm,
Vanguard, they were pretty popular. So I just started putting money a little by little into mutual funds. I didn't know much about it. I just, a friend of the family had said to me, "Hey, if you have spare money, put it in mutual funds." I didn't have a 401k back then. I didn't have any kind of retirement accounts, but I knew to at least start investing in the market.
yeah.
So that's what started. That was a long time. That was just right out of college. And
Then you had to call a broker to
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, back then you had to call up and you had to mail in paper checks, and there was no online, so you have to wait for your paper statements to come to see your money grow.
Yeah.
And so there was a huge time lag. And then I wasn't doing any like individual investing, like picking stocks, but yet I just basically I knew mutual funds I'd wanted, and I'd call up and I'd say I'd like to buy, and you have to say the words.
Mm.
Okay,
You gotta
you
be
send in the money, and then you have to tell them what you want.
mm.
Yeah.
That's why guys like Jordan Belfort succeeded, huh? It was a lot easier to manipulate people over the phone, I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, there's just a lot of,
Mm,
I wouldn't say misinformation, but just lack of information.
yeah.
But and then so yeah, mutual funds from the age of say 22 to 25. Then after business, then I got my MBA.
Mhm.
So then that's when I really learned a lot about how to price individual stocks, and how to figure out, what these how to basically figure out what a share is worth, and all the different metrics, the PE ratios and all the different, how to look at a financial statement and figure out, much is this company in debt? I mean, is this company, profitable? Things like that. So once I graduated from business school, then I started to buy individual stocks. And by that time, the internet was around. So I think there was a lot more information online. So individual stocks. And then after I got married, yeah, so I was doing individual stocks. That was just my thing for a long time. After I got married, I started buying. We got our first house, so started to build a little equity in terms of real estate. But that's I wasn't considering that as an investment, at least at that time. And the stock stuff. What really was interesting, what helped me a lot, was I figured out early on that you had to set up these IRA accounts. And I got my first Roth IRA when I was, I think, 30, 31 or 32. Do you know what a Roth IRA
Yeah.
is? Okay. So they work. Roth IRAs are great. So I bought, as an example, like I was an early investor in Netflix
Mhm.
when pretty much soon after they became public. And I bought Netflix in a Roth IRA.
Mm.
So what that meant is that I bought it. I think I bought it for like, I mean, I don't. I think now I think the price is like at 80 something dollars, but I think when I bought it for like just a few bucks.
That's ridiculous,
But
huh?
it grew from just a few bucks to $80 in a Roth account. So what happens is, I won't say exactly how much I bought, but the point is, like, if I had bought, say, $100 in back in 2000, whenever it was that I bought it in a Roth, and let's say it grew to I don't know, let's say it multiplied by 40 times, right?
Hmm.
So $40,000, let's say it grew to, that's all tax free.
Yeah,
That's the power of the Roth IRA. It's all tax free.
but you have to wait until retirement, right?
Yeah, 59 and a half.
Mm.
You have to wait till you're 59 and a half. But it's coming up I'm 57. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh
so I
yeah.
mean, we're only 2.5 more years and I can access all those funds. No tax bill. No
You're
tax bill at all.
you're Netflix and chilling, man.
Netflix and I'm literally Netflix and chilling.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that one of your is that one of your big early winners? Do you remember any?
yeah, actually, I was early in Tesla.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
What was the stock when you bought
I
it?
don't remember the number. I know I did, and I sold my Tesla recently, by the way.
Oh, why?
To, I honestly, I was not excited. I didn't like there were just a lot of things, what Musk was doing made me nervous about
Mm.
his ability to manage the company. And at the same time, there was a lot of talk that, basically EVs were just going to get crushed, which is kind of happening already.
Yeah, they've been selling less and less vehicles.
Exactly. And I just saw it coming, the writing on the wall. But I was early in Facebook, Salesforce, Shopify, Microsoft, semi early. Um,
So
Google, got some Google.
so you went from mutual funds to individual
Right.
stocks, and you've never stopped buying individual stocks,
Nope.
right?
Never stop. Still today buying. And I mean, as long as I still have, I don't know, at least 10, 20 years left of that I can wait,
Hmm.
stocks are a great bet. If you're young like I mean, you should be, every time the market goes down, and there's a dip in
Like last week.
like last week, you should be in there buying. I mean, even small amounts. And nowadays, so when I first started buying stocks, you had to buy much bigger. You had to buy, there were share minimums. You couldn't just buy like one share or like
Mm.
a piece of a share. Now, I think you could buy like a fraction of a share.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
it's
tied
weird,
to
huh?
and then back then there was a few dollars, each trade was a few bucks. And now it's no commission.
Yeah.
So like and my biggest advice to young people like yourself, especially that have some spare change, is every time the market, corrects, get in there, buy your top, whatever your FANG stocks or whatever,
And there's never been an easier time to invest than now, right?
there's zero
You
hurdles.
grab your phone, sign up, boom, boom, boom.
And then you know what
Yeah.
and then you could, and this is the easiest to me. This is like easy money. It's easy money in the sense that I wouldn't say easy money, but like, you can, so, about dollar cost averaging, right? So
Yeah.
you wait till you get your buy-in point and then you set your buy-in points, so that if you average down, eventually you'll get to a really good low price on whatever stock it is. So like, let's say, let's take an example. Who's down this year? Some of the AI.
Salesforce is down.
Salesforce is down, right? Okay, Salesforce. So yeah, so you start with a little bit, you nibble, take a little nibble now, and then you set yourself, okay, every time it goes down, I don't know, 5%, I'm going to buy more and buy more and buy more. Now, it's possible that the company could go out of business and you lose all your money.
Mhm.
That is true. That can happen, but highly unlikely. It's more likely that it'll bottom at some point, and
Mm.
then you get that bottom, and then you ride it back up. And if you can either trade it away or you can hold on to it in a Roth IRA account for 20 years, and when you're finally ready to sell, it's tax free.
Bada bing, bada
Bada bing,
boom.
bada boom.
Yeah. Have you ever had a big loser?
A lot of losers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't. Okay, so all these little bets that I made, Netflix and Tesla and Facebook and stuff like that, they weren't at the time. They weren't huge bets. I mean, it wasn't like I put tens of thousands of dollars on it. It was just a small calculated bet, that company would be big someday. Some of those bets didn't pay off. Like I was early in a company called Lending Club.
Hmm.
I thought that was going to be the next thing, peer-to-peer lending. That never happened. So that's down a lot, a few $1,000s down on that one. Lyft, I thought Lyft was going to be somehow be as good as Uber. That never panned out. And yeah, but not. I mean, but again, I mean, these were not big bets to begin with. So I haven't really, on paper, I haven't lost that much.
Is it possible to house hack? Is it possible to house hack in the Central Coast in this day and age, like especially for like someone in their mid-20s?
Now you're mentioning that because one of the first things I said to you when I met you, maybe it was the first, second, third conversation, I said, Noah, you should house hack. And you were like, what do you mean house hack? And I'm like, well, as soon as you can get together a deposit, you got to get yourself some real estate. And the easiest way to do it is you get yourself a condo with 3-bedroom apartment, whatever, condominium. You live in one of the rooms and you rent out the other two. Why would we do that? Because these other 2 rooms will pay the mortgage. And so, somebody else, you're living for free. 2 other dudes are paying your mortgage. And after a few years, guess what? You've got equity in this place. And that's how the real estate equity starts. Now, can you house hack on that? Yeah, you should be able to, Santa Maria. I mean, what does a condo go for around here?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. I mean, nowadays you look at just an average home, it's $500,000.
Okay. But what about like
You could
a
buy
condominium, a
you could buy
townhome?
yeah, you could buy something for maybe 400, but it's not the cream of the crop. It's not the greatest looking house. It needs work, you know?
I think it could be done. But I think it could be done. I think if you're handy, I don't know, are you good with like, plumbing and electrical and all that? Or
Yeah, it's not. No, unfortunately not.
because I mean, the easy thing is to do a fixer-upper thing where you buy like an older home for, whatever fire sale prices, and then you put in, upgrade everything. I've never done that, but I've worked with companies that do that, and it's possible, but is it possible? I think it's possible on the Central Coast. Yes, absolutely. If you know people that can rent the other rooms in the house, and the only thing is, you got to put together the down payment. And interest rates are starting to come down now. So I think if you were to buy, let's say you were to buy $500,000 place, I don't know, like a townhome or well, something reasonable, you don't need as much. First time home buyers actually can take advantage of a program, I forget the name of it, but I think you only have to put 3% down. So let's say it's a $500,000 place, you'd only need 15 grand to get in to the place as a first time home buyer. From there, you could have a mortgage, but you have to make sure that you'd have to calculate the rent on those 2 other rooms. Let's just say you
Yeah.
financed the 485, right? $85,000. I don't know what the mortgage on it, but let's say the rate got down to 4%, 4.5%. Um, you're still looking at a monthly payment, couple 3 grand. So if you could rent out each of those rooms for, I don't know how much it would rent for around here, but
Maybe
you could break even.
800,000 bucks.
So 1,000, so each person, yes, borderline. But you're not looking, in this case with house hacking, you're not really looking for cash flow. You're just looking for 2 other dudes to pay the mortgage. Some of the real estate that I own, I forgot to get to that, but I'm looking for cash flow. I don't have any properties in Santa Maria, but I do have one in Slow. And it's cash.
It's an apartment,
It's a single family home.
single family home.
So, and the only reason it's cash flow positive is because I got it before the pandemic. Like I got it before everything took off,
Yeah,
and I got a 2.7% interest rate. So
so you got a golden
I got in
golden
early.
egg.
I got in early. I got lucky.
Did you buy that house to live in it, or was your intention always to rent it out?
To rent it out. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
bought it as a temporarily while my. It's a long story short, a long story, but I bought it temporarily while the house that we were intending to move into was still being built. So I just bought it to just have a place. We didn't want to rent because I don't really, I feel like you should always own.
You've never rented a home since owning your first one?
Never. My kids, of course, they lease my son leases his apartment at college, but I'm not going to say renting is for young people, for sure. But like at some point, you got to get in. You got to get into the market.
How many properties do you own, Tommy?
Well, this may seem like a lot, but I have one here. and 5 in Alabama. And let's not get it all
Yeah.
into it. You can ask Markeith about what's his name, Robo.
Robo.
Yes, Robo about it.
He's in one of your units.
I just rented it. That's it. No,
That-
Alabama's a great rental market, like a
yeah.
great market for investors. So I have some properties in Alabama, but that's a whole other podcast.
So you have 6 that you rent out and then 1 that you live in, right?
Yep.
Wow. Congrats, man.
It's not as glamorous as it sounds.
Wow.
It's not as glamorous as it sounds because it takes time for those to make money. Like even the house hacking thing, you don't get rich off of real estate in the immediate term. You build wealth in the long term with real estate. It's not a get rich quick thing. Neither are stocks actually. Everything is, there's no, except for the crypto, and we've talked about this too. All of the people that are watching this that are crypto.
Tommy doesn't like crypto.
Yeah. Crypto, I don't really know of many people just getting rich quick off of anything, really.
Yeah.
Actually, the people that get rich quick that I know I've known a few of them, started a startup with a good idea and sold it to a bigger company 2-3 years later. That's the get rich quick that I know of.
Mm-hmm. But not everyone's smart enough to do something like that.
Not everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's usually just
geniuses.
It's 2 developers and a business dude, and they have an idea. They put together the technology, and it just turns out to be that it's something that Amazon, Google, Facebook, somebody wants.
What made you invest in Alabama? Because that's a pretty interesting place to buy your properties, get acclimated.
So, as you alluded to earlier, California is really not great for real estate investing because it's too expensive. Alabama houses are reasonably priced. A brand new home is only $250, $300.
Damn.
And but the rents are high enough that it supports in other words, you can make cash flow. That's the thing. If the housing prices are low enough and the rent is high enough, the rent is actually higher than the mortgage would be. So therefore, as an investor, you can not only cover the mortgage payment on the property, but you can make a few $100 per month extra in cash flow. You can't find that in many places. It's like Alabama, maybe like Detroit is a good market. Some cities in Ohio, they're disappearing. I mean, there's less and less places like that.
And when you're looking at a property, like what kind of margin are you looking for? Like what's the ideal like rent to mortgage ratio?
I forget what it was called. There's like this rule of 1% rule, whereas I think you want the rent to be one. Okay, I can't forget what it's. Let me think here. There's a metric, and I can't remember what it is, but you want the rent to be 1% or something like that of the sales price or something like that. Okay, put a pin in that one. I'll have to get back to you on that. The 1% rule. There it is. 1% rule in real estate. That's what the metric that I used to use. I don't use it much anymore because
the 1% rule is a popular rule of thumb that real estate investors use to decide whether a property might be a good investment opportunity. It suggests that a real estate investment, blah, blah, blah. The investor needs to be able to charge 1% of the home's price for
rent.
monthly rent.
That's right. Okay, so
1% of the home's price.
1% of the home's price in rent. So if a $250,000 property gets you $2,500 in rent,
that's good.
It works out.
But if it's under,
if it's less that, you could go down to less than that, but less and less profitable.
I'm sure it depends on the person too, right? Like if someone has a good chunk of change and they see a nice property and it's like maybe 0.7% or something.
Well, the more you put down, obviously, the more the less that matters. Because then, I mean, like I have one property in Alabama that I own free and clear, and so then I'm not really worried about the mortgage because there is no mortgage. But
the other 5 have mortgages.
The other 5 have mortgages. But in that case, you're just looking at, okay, what is the taxes, the insurance? That's really, there's not a lot of other costs. It's just, out of that rent has to come just a few small things. So basically the more money you put into it, then the less your mortgage payment's going to be and the more cash flow you'll have.
Hmm.
So, but in the context of the Central Coast, that's where like a fixer upper would come in, where you can't get it. Maybe you can't get a place for 500, but maybe you can get one for 350 and fix it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if it does make sense if you do end up putting close to 500 by the time it's done. Isn't it better just to buy the
Yeah,
500
maybe.
that's almost ready or
I
pretty
mean,
much
I always see signs for new developments around here. Like Orchid had a new, isn't there like a master plan community in Orchid? And then I see the signs everywhere for new.
yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like those new developments, those houses are always starting at like six to $700,000 these days. I
Real.
see them in Nipomo, Grover
Yeah.
Beach.
I don't know if that would be, I mean, that would be for you, a young guy like you, I don't think that would be your first thing. But feel like if you want to start building, building your wealth, I feel like if you just you could get yourself into a condominium apartment, whatever you want to call it, townhome. It's doable.
What is the ideal? What is the best city here in the Central Coast to buy a property as a asset?
Okay. So are we speaking in the perspective of an investor?
Yeah,
With new home, with the master plan communities, those new communities, you know, you get in, and if you get in the early stages, they kind of organically build inequity automatically. Like if you're in phase one of a new plan development, by phase 4 or 5, they're going to be selling for much higher. That's just the way new homes work. So any town that has a lot of those new homes, if you get in early, they're a good investment. It could be Paso. Paso's got one going in. Could be Slow still has ones. The ones you mentioned, they're all good. But
you don't have a favorite city. Like, there's not one
well, I mean,
you.
let's think about this. Slow has the advantage of a growing population, especially the Cal Poly keeps growing,
Mm-hmm.
right? The student population keeps growing. So from what we can tell, Slow is kind of up on the upswing. Paso, I don't know that, like, Vic Polito's, he's in the wine business. He's telling me always that the wine industry is kind of on the downswing. And everything I've heard also tells me that the wine industry is hurting. So I don't know if Paso would be as good of a market as Slow. Forget about anything on the coast, like Pismo,
Shell
Cambria,
Beach.
all that. Yeah, I mean, that's all Airbnbs anyway.
Yeah.
And
Rentals.
rentals, and you gotta, that's a whole separate business. You could, instead of house hacking, you could buy a one of those not luxury, but beachfront places and do the whole Airbnb thing. But that's a lot of work to manage an Airbnb.
Did you ever do any Airbnbs on your?
No, that's that's after my time. I don't. Yeah, I've thought about it. I looked at it. I looked at places, but there's nothing. All those towns have limits on the number of short-term rentals.
Mm.
So even if you were to get a place, say in Los Osos, and turn it into an Airbnb or a vacation rental, you might not get approved.
The city puts a limit.
Yeah, city has a
That's kind
limit.
of ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, city has a limit on it, and not to mention there's the water. Like if you try to do something new and you can't do new builds, so I gave up on that.
I'd imagine Sloan County's a little more strict with their rental rules than other cities or other counties, right?
I don't know. I think so because tourism. We rely on tourism, so I mean, that it makes sense for them to kind of restrict it so that it doesn't get out of control,
Yeah.
I guess.
What made you move to Slow, man?
Well, the main thing was, we were up in the Bay Area, and it was for my kids basically. We wanted to change up the high schools that they were going to. Seoul High School we knew was a good school, and I'd been coming here for vacation for a few years with my wife and my kids, and we always liked the area. And the pandemic was happening, and we were like, why wait? Let's just go now. So
No better time than when
yeah,
you're.
we had it in our sights for a long as a retirement place, and there are a lot of retirees,
Oh yeah.
in Slow. We had it
Uh,
in our sights, but then the pandemic happened. And we're like, why wait? Let's just go now. And Slow High School's good. My oldest would, he would be a senior, and so he was like, I'm going to lose all my friends, but he was up for the adventure. And yeah, my daughter was up for it too. She was a ninth grader during the pandemic, so she was on Zoom, so she didn't really know any of her high school classmates anyway. So she was up for it. And my little guy, he was like, I told him, I said, if you say yes to this move, I'll get you a cat, and that did the trick.
Wow. How old was he at the time?
He was in third grade at the time,
Okay. So you
so but he really wanted a cat, so
and you got the cat.
got the cat.
Were you happy about it?
Yeah, he's a good cat. He's a little mean sometimes, but he's mostly a good cat.
Mm.
He's all black.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received when it comes to investing?
Maybe the Roth IRA. Like I didn't know about that, and then once someone explained it to me, it was like, oh man, that's magic.
No
If you,
brainer.
no brainer if you think about it.
And were you maxing that out right away?
Yeah, yeah, and it's a pretty good limit. Roth IRA, house hacking, and the other. Let's make it three things. I would say this: Roth IRA, but then don't let it just sit in a money market. Invest it in high growth stocks, so that tax free combined with the hyper growth really pays off.
Like what kind of stocks
Well, like I was
specifically?
saying, like
Yeah,
Tesla,
Tesla. Yeah.
like I specifically bought all those high growth stocks
How do
in
you
my Roth.
how do you how do you find those stocks that are on the come up before they?
Uh, there's a lot of theories about this, and like, how do you figure out like what's a growth stock? How do you figure out what's going to be the next thing, right?
Mhm.
For me, it's very, very, very simple. I forget it's Warren Buffett or Peter Lynch or one of these famous financial guys said, look, if it's a product or service that you love, odds are you're not the only one, and the odds are that's a good place to start. So like with Netflix, I was an early Netflix customer. I had it when it was doing the DVDs
Yeah.
by mail. I loved it. And then they came out with this streaming thing way back in the beginning. It was kind of janky, but it worked. And I was like, all of a sudden, there was like a whole library of stuff I could watch online. I wasn't even watching it on my TV yet, but I was like, oh, this
Computer.
is like, I just could tell that's what it was, what was going to happen.
And it was at that point you invested once it was
And I was like,
streaming.
once they rolled out streaming, I'm like, I'm buying this stock because this is gonna be the next thing. I'm not saying I'm like a genius,
Yeah, you just.
but I was a user.
Mm.
So, and the same thing with Facebook. I bought, I knew that there were already like a billion people on Facebook at that time. So I was like, all right, this is irreplaceable. Um,
What about when it comes to like retailers or like consumer goods? Like people go, like I see all the time these trends with like clothing or even
mhm.
like drinks. Like let's say Dutch Bros. I see these places are really popular, but like as we know, like these are the first things to that people stop buying
Yeah,
during a recession or
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like retail and things that I mean, I see your point.
yeah,
Not everything is like Netflix, right? Where
yeah.
it's going to be
It's
it's
always
going to revolutionize and it's hard to say that a restaurant or like a coffee chain or is going to revolutionize the industry. That's a stretch. So you kind of have to think out of the box a little bit about it. But like I was early in Amazon, forgot to mention that, but that was a no brainer. Like already, when right after the IPO, they weren't making money yet but you could tell that there was not going to be no one's going to be able to challenge them once once I start seeing the Amazon trucks driving around, I'm like, oh, this is the end
this is it.
for everybody else because it's just too convenient.
I'm still waiting on the drones, man. What happened? They said they were supposed to have
but
those.
but you in your own life,
Yeah.
Noah, I'm sure that there are things that you know about and services and products and technologies and things that you know about that are small now, but are probably going to be. And maybe it is crypto. I don't know. I just,
I'm not a huge crypto guy. I do see the potential, and I do see like everything is moving to a virtual world.
mhm.
That's just where my generation and the generation under me is at. But I prefer stocks over crypto. Still, I've had crypto. I've made money. I've lost a little. I've made more money in crypto than I've lost, but I've never been like a huge crypto
Yeah.
guy. But like really, right now, like what I'm interested in, and I've just been trying to do research in is AI, man,
Yeah.
because it,
Well,
it's inevitable. It's gonna keep.
yeah.
It's gonna keep.
So, I mean, you can research that pretty easily. I mean, OpenAI is not public yet, but
No.
Microsoft is a big investor in that.
Yeah,
Uh,
Microsoft themselves is working on AI.
yeah.
Amazon's working on AI. Meta.
I know you could own
Yeah.
all the hyperscalers, which the guys who do the data centers, Google,
Yeah.
Oracle, Amazon, Microsoft.
Mhm.
You could buy NVIDIA,
Yeah, I got a little I wish I
but
had more.
there's some guys who are competing or trying to challenge them. You could buy those guys.
It's like
But
a
like whatever.
Do you like AI?
I'm investing. I've invested in. I've got all those names. NVIDIA. I was early in NVIDIA, somewhat early. Everything is AI. Robotics is AI. Tesla's AI. Everything is AI.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Does AI scare you at all for what it could potentially become?
it doesn't scare me. I'm using it for my work as a tool, but I think for my kids who are going to enter the workforce, I'm a little bit worried about
Yeah.
their future. I tell them, you better do something that AI can enhance but not replace. Like, go into a profession where you literally for legal reasons can't be replaced. Like a lawyer can only practice law as a legal as a someone who's passed the bar, or a doctor. Only a licensed medical doctor can practice medicine. Things like that. Um, it's actually a great time to be in the trades, actually, because AI cannot fix a toilet.
Yeah, they don't seem to be focusing on that kind of stuff. Yeah.
AI
Okay.
can't fix a toilet, but they do have hamburger robots.
Yeah, that's funny, right?
I mean,
Yeah, it was,
they make a pretty good burger and a cup of coffee too.
yeah. Have you seen it?
I've seen the one in San Francisco where you can order a machine. It'll make you
The
an
latte?
espresso. The burger robots, I haven't seen those, but I can imagine that.
It's the future.
I think Domino's has a pizza machine too,
Oh wow. I'm gonna go into this.
but that's not even AI. I think that's just an assembly line thing.
Yeah. What's the biggest killer of wealth, man?
The biggest killer of wealth,
Yeah.
divorce. So if you get married and then you divorce, you lose half. So that's probably the biggest.
What if it's on your bucket list to get divorced?
So, like these divorces, it's hilarious. Like Bezos got divorced, and his wife, she winds up becoming like the biggest philanthropist. Basically, she's like, I'm going to get you, and I'm going to get you in the worst way possible. I'm going to take your money, Jeff. I'm going to give it all away. And that's what she's doing.
That's awesome. He
McKinsey,
deserves it.
what's her name? McKinsey. So anyway, yeah, she's been funding all the stuff that Trump isn't funding. Now the wealthy divorcees like Belinda Gates
Melinda
and
Gates.
McKinsey, whatever it is, they're all funding these things. So it's like what goes around comes around.
Yeah, karma.
Yeah. So I don't, I'm not sad for Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates. They, for whatever.
What about what about other than divorce, man? Like what's like some
What are the other biggest killers of wealth?
children?
Yeah. No, children, yes, they're expensive, but they don't, but if anything, they help you keep you healthy, and they give you
Purpose?
great purpose. But yeah, I guess if you lose your job and you're not able to get a new one because that does happen, especially like at my age level. You hear all the time about people that they get restructured out of a job, but then they can't find their way back into industry. That's kind of scary. And for my generation, Gen X, if or anyone like me that gets the axe, um, that could be difficult to come back from.
That's not something you worry about as a business
I'm
owner, right?
self-employed, so
Yeah.
I mean, I can get the axe from my clients, but I try to have a diverse number of clients so that so one of them isn't gonna, set me back too much.
Do you want to retire?
I don't really,
Is that something you
no,
think
not
about?
really. I like consulting. For those of you that don't know, I'm a consultant in my day job. Yeah, I just like it. I mean, it keeps me, I, that also gives me purpose. I like talking with my clients. I enjoy doing the work I do. I get to meet with startups. I get to, help big companies, find these startups. And yeah, I like it. And I don't, if I hated my job, or if it was something that, I was getting bored of, then sure. I mean, most people that want to retire, that's why they want to retire. They get tired of the grind. For me, my work isn't a grind. I
Mm.
like it.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's I never want to retire, man.
Well,
Well, like for me, I deal with like a lot of like injuries because I do still do like blue collar stuff.
yeah.
So in that aspect, I don't like it. I do need to find something else. Hopefully comedy. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
keep writing.
Well, Yeah, comedy is, that's how we know each other. Obviously, we're both doing comedy here on the Central Coast.
Do you like any kind of debt? I mean, you did talk about how you do have mortgages on your houses.
Hmm.
You're a proponent of debt.
I only would, I tell my kids the only debt that you should have is the debt on assets that appreciate and debt that raises your income. So, in other words, we only want debt on real estate because that appreciates. So, the appreciation cancels out the interest. And then debt on education, when you graduate, your income goes from X to X plus 40K. Again, pays for itself. So those are the only two types of debt I would authorize. Credit card debt is bad. Auto debt is bad. Any other personal loans, all bad.
And
Don't do any of those.
and for the real estate, so long as you have the income to back that up, right? And hopefully some cash in the or how much? What about like cash in the bank? How much cash in the bank do you want to have before? So like you bought your first house. Much? How long after that did you buy your second piece of property?
Oh no, I was late. I was almost too late. I was really too late to real estate. I was 30, five, I think, when I bought my starter home, and then I didn't get to start to investing in real estate till like 13 years later.
Wow.
I wasted a lot of time. I didn't know. I didn't really know. I mean, that's why I'm on this podcast, really, to try to encourage people like you and other people that watch this that, um, get into real estate, get house hack if is a way to start, but get into real estate so you can have, build some equity. It might be difficult at first, but over time it will pay off. And yeah, but
Let me
yeah.
ask to go along with that. You say you started late. Like, if you could go back in time,
Hmm.
what would you tell your younger self? Like, what advice would you give your
Well,
younger self?
my first job out of business school, I was getting a pretty nice salary. I rented. I should have bought. I should have, like, my first nice paying job. I should have just buckled down and just bought. I was looking at a condo in San Francisco actually when I put my first job. I should have bought it. Should have bought it.
How
Would have
much
had
was it?
more wealth. And what?
How much was that condo?
Oh, I think it was like only 500,000. That
And
I mean, I shouldn't say only, but
now it's like what, 2 million?
probably 2.5 million.
San
It was
Francisco
right
real
near the
estate's crazy.
opera.
Yeah,
Should have bought it, and then I could have used that equity to get a much bigger starter home with my wife, and then you know yeah, we could have done that. But yeah, like I said, it's easier to get into real estate as a young person, as a first time home buyer because of the relaxed restrictions. You just got to wait for mortgage rates to come down a little bit more.
they'll get there, right?
Yeah, I would say start looking maybe once it goes below 5.
Yeah,
I think you should start looking, whether it
mm,
be you or whoever. And if
yeah,
you need your parents' help to get the down payment, the only thing is that, to get a mortgage, you have to have a very nice, stable income. And, so
yeah,
you're going to have to get a W-2
yeah.
job. Sorry.
It is what it is, man. Just real quick for the viewers,
Yeah.
man. Let me ask you, what's your favorite thing about the 805?
There's so many things. I hate to be cliche, but it's just coming from the Bay Area and then growing up in New York, it's finally calm, the calm that I always kind of wanted. It's just calm. It's quiet. It's calm. It's chill, slow, the slow life. It's all true. Like people don't get bent out of shape about anything here. I mean, it's like, so I don't get it. I just,
It's
I
got a
don't,
real California chill vibe
it's
here.
so chill. I mean,
Yeah,
back where I grew up and then also in the Bay Area, everyone's always competing all the time for everything. Even in comedy, we're competing with each other, to be the best at this, or like in the context of raising your kids, like my kid's better than your kid, or my team is better than your team, or there's just constant rat race. You ever heard of the
yeah,
expression
yeah.
rat race? Yeah, in the Bay Area, it's kind of, especially in Silicon Valley, it's kind of a rat race. No rats, just
It's a little friendlier here, you think?
people are just happy, to be living here. You got the ocean. What's not to love? You got the ocean's right there. You got good food. You got people are nice. You got um, the university's right there.
You really like slow downtown slow?
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah,
And then
cute.
we got the
It's a good way to put
Fremont.
it.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it is a small town,
Hmm.
but I personally, coming from big cities, I like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
small town, but they got some big
got
city stuff.
some. Yeah, we get people coming through.
to
And
Fremont, and
yeah, we got comics that come through.
we had Foo Fighters,
Yeah,
pretty big
it's
act that
pretty.
came
Yeah, we
through.
can big bands come through, but we don't like we don't get uh it doesn't get to our heads. We're just sort of like slow is we all know that all the people that live in this area,
Yeah.
we know it's a great place to live, but we're not like in your face to anybody else about it. We kind of keep it secret. So
And if you could change one thing about the Central Coast, what would you change?
oh well, this may not be an issue for you, but better healthcare we have. There just aren't any doctors, man.
You know what, man?
There's just no doctors.
I know I'm a young lad or whatever, but I deal with those problems too, man. It's like,
You try to make an
eh,
appointment for anything, it's going to be 6 months, 9 months for like a specialist.
you're like, dude, I'm dying.
Yeah, it's bad. That's the one thing. And also, there's no good Chinese food.
There's no good Chinese food in the
Yeah,
Central Coast? Zero.
I haven't found any.
What
But
about Santa Maria? Have you had any in Santa Maria?
there's legend I've heard of from Ezra. He's told me about, but I kind of find it hard to believe. I mean, but I'm coming from the Bay Area where it's like,
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
yeah, I mean,
The
so
Mecca.
yeah, I mean, so my standards are high. I have Chinese food, but here and there we're getting,
But you don't
you
get
know,
full when you eat Chinese food.
here and there we're getting some. Yeah, we got like downtown Seoul's got a Korean all-you-can-eat place now. There's a
Did you
Korean
try it?
place here. Yeah, no, I haven't tried that one, but and there's a Chinese noodle place called Shake Shake or something. That's not bad.
Yeah.
But by and large, the best Chinese food in the Central Coast is going to be Panda Express. Sorry to say.
And that's a 100% true statement
I mean,
from you.
coming from the Bay
That's
Area, if someone said to me, "Hey, I'm looking to have Chinese tonight. Where do I go?" I'd say, "Sorry, but Panda Express is the best you're gonna get."
That's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, and the best Mexican food is Taco Bell.
So that's the one other strong point is that we have better Mexican food than the Bay Area or New York or anywhere
All
else.
right. We'll take
So
it. We'll take that.
we're always trying to figure out our best. I know you how on your podcast you have people give recommendations
Yeah,
and
no.
stuff.
We don't need to do that, but I like that actually. Let's say that, man. The Central Coast has better Mexican food than the Bay Area.
For sure. Yeah, it does. Even though that's where burritos were invented, but still, apparently
Yeah,
San Francisco is where their burritos were invented.
is that what they're saying?
I think so. I think there was
Who's spreading those
I
rumors?
think burritos started in the Mission,
Okay.
but
Well,
yeah, but in
we're
just
gonna
in
we're gonna get a misinformation tag on here. All right, dude. I gotta get you out of
All
here,
right.
but appreciate you for coming,
Thanks,
Tommy.
Noah. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.